Who know me know I rarely, if ever, write a speech. I generally go from notes, but given, I guess the emotion of today, I felt I needed to. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. It means just so much to Alfred and me. My theme is about family, it's about friends, why it really feels different to be married, and why a candle in the dark does hold a hope for the future. I was a terribly precocious child, and Mum always told me that my big mouth would get me into trouble. Today I said, I do. Now look at the trouble I'm in. Okay. Mum also said I'd meet a nice Jewish girl and settle down. I didn't meet a nice Jewish girl, I met a nice Chinese boy. But I've been settled with Alfred for over 24 years now. I think all a nice Jewish boy wants to do is to make his parents proud of him. I've done my best to honour you, even if in ways that were unexpected to you. I've done my best to honour both of you. I'm a scientist by training and by outlook. Not a very good one, but I am one by training and by outlook. And my dad said to me in his final week that even Einstein can't measure the dimensions of love, and he was right. You don't have to be religious to feel that love is an infinite force that binds us across the generations. It connects us all across space and time, across the boundary of life and death. Love is the human manifestation of the ethereal, of creation, connecting the ethereal with the physical. Whilst my father isn't here today, the love of his life, my mum, who he idolised, is here, and I'm so grateful, Mum, that you are. You and Dad gave me the most marvellous start in life and the opportunities that's enabled. You set a great example as a team, dating for 7 years, being married for over 64. You taught me to be Jewish, yes, by my identity, eclectic, iconoclastic, and above all, not to feel the need to conform. And you've proven that. Today is the example of your success in that. As to my dad, his greatest desire was that Mum would be okay and find her own happiness after he died. But he also wanted to know that in turn, I had someone to watch over me, someone to hold me too close and make me aware of being alive. And that lovely man is now my husband, Alfred. I was on my way to CERN in Geneva in June 2004 when I learned of the death of my Aunt Muriel. She was a colourful character, but we got on so well. And the sharp-eared amongst you will know that there was no Wagner in today's music. Of all my loves, Mahler and Wagner, there was no Wagner. And many of you will know that the march, the wedding march of Lohengrin, da, 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 is one of the most famous wedding marches. But Muriel, who introduced me to Wagner, sitting in the house in Hampstead, just round the corner from here, listening to her old Decca LPs of Christa Ludwig and Fritz Wunderlich, Birgit Nilsson and Wolfgang Windgassen singing Tristan and Isolde. She just was mad about Wagner and she infused me with that. But she said, no Wagner at weddings, it's so common. My godfather, my Uncle Ralph, the Abe Lincoln of the family, survived her by 16 years and only died 19 days ago. There's empty chairs and empty tables, but we have to live our lives. We must fill them with joy and think of the experiences we gain and the richness in our lives and always look forward. Turning to my lovely brother Vincent and my niece Felicity, my nephew Cosmo, how different Mum's 3 sons are, but what a pleasure to have a brother like Vincent. When I was young, to be honest, nearly 10 years older than me, you don't look it, he was more like an uncle, but now he's just my big brother, always there for me. That sweet herbal smell and hessian-covered walls of Grove Avenue, and then 2 gorgeous, smart kids dancing and prancing around my house in Bristol, to the songs of Erasure. Yeah, I listened to that as well. Rejoicing in me going green at Chessington World of Adventures and growing into adults that any father would be proud of and would make any uncle glow. I'm so sorry that Cosmo's stuck in Mozambique. I spoke with him a few days ago. I know you've just spoken with him and sent him my love. So to my friends, it's not often that at an event like this you can actually say thank you to all of your friends. There were supposed to be 75, my speech was 5 hours. But it's great to welcome some of our lovely friends, but there is a common feature amongst you. When bringing this to 15 people, I wanted to have people where I knew that not only do I value your friendships individually and severally as couples, but also I know you love and care for Alfred as much as you do for me, and have shown that over the years. And Sam and Tom, from sharing a student house off the Cowley Road in Oxford and avoiding scissors and knives being thrown at us by one of our housemates, to the two of you turning up at my doorstep unannounced when I was lolling around with my ex. I really had one ex in the few months before I came out. So many theatre visits, so many late night talks, so much friendship and wisdom. And Peter and David, we met on our first day at Oxford, had a memorable visit to Mexico together when Josie was only a few months old, 7 months old, I think. And you set me up with so many gorgeous women.
Why didn't it work?
It would have been such a great catch if I was straight. When I came out to Peter in 1995, her first reaction was, great, we can go double dating. It's true. Stephen and Bart, I'm sorry Bart's stuck in Amsterdam. You know, he's supposed to be the other usher, Felicity, he owes you. I spar best with people who are cleverer than me. I value intellect. And Stephen certainly is. Over 9 years of friendship, we share an awful lot in common. A certain geekiness, an interest in business, love of maths. But I guess I can safely say that we differ in our skills on a barbecue. I've got so many friends who can't join us today. And we hope that you and they will be with us in Hong Kong as soon as we can get there. And at our London 25th anniversary and wedding party here in this very venue, hopefully on the 10th of July next year. So now to you, Alfred. We met in Hampstead in 1996, July the 6th, 1996. We met outside Hampstead Tube Station a few yards from here after meeting on a dating advert I placed. You answered so eloquently and conned me into thinking you knew a lot about Marla. You were a shy, awkward, quite hesitant person, but look at what you've grown into now. Wise, intelligent, humorous, and one of the world's most prolific online shoppers. When Alfred proposed to me in Hong Kong last year, it was like everything fitted into place. We've been going out for a long time, and marriage wasn't on the cards when we first got together. But it felt so right then, and it feels right now. I'd no doubt then, and I've no doubt now. Our marriage isn't just a continuation of our former relationship, our former partnership. It's a deepening and intertwining, it's a fusion. Stephen mentioned that Soof was written by Avishai Cohen. Our entrance music today was written as a poem, as a gift to his wife. But actually for me it's got two other meanings. An acronym of swear on our friendship, Soof, swear on our friendship. But more than that, it brings in the Kabbalistic idea of the Ein Sof, the infinite light, that connects the ethereal and the physical. It's a deepening and it's an intertwining of our lives and our dreams and our future. And now I expect to be with you together forever. I'm so sorry that Alfred's mum, sisters, brother-in-law and niece couldn't be with us today, but I know they were all there, as a whole gang of them on Zoom out in Hong Kong. And thank you so much, Liz, Alex and Nadie, for joining us and being part of Alfred's family and being here today. In particular, the welcome and acceptance shown by Alfred's mum and his dad when he was alive, when they visited us in Cambridge and we visited them in Hong Kong. I want to give huge thanks to the guy who's flashing at me, Mateus, to the caterers, Liam and colleagues, who've had to change so many times from our original plans, to Berg House, this just beautiful place where we're in today, to Mark Francis and Victor Hall, who've put everything together. And again, for them, it's been a tough year, but they've replanned it several times. And to the amazing Svetlana and Slava, who've driven all the way down from Lancashire and put up with my nagging and insistence on getting every bar of the music right. And also to Stephen, Jeff, Vincent and Felicity for making things great for us. This year's been turbulent for us all. We've seen our society turned upside down and our lovely country faces an uncertain future. Whilst we have to wear face coverings outside this room and can't feel the heat of our usual hugs, we can and must make that extra effort to reach out in warmth, friendship and love to those we care about. We must make our words and actions count more than as virtual hugs and shallow emojis. Our love, resilience and human spirit will see us through, and that's how we'll see ourselves through. I was born a Jew, but I'm not a believer, and even if I remain a stubborn iconoclast, I see the spiritual in the world around me and pervading this very room, and all of us here today. The divine sparks of creation are embedded in each and every one of us. But you know, Judaism is a surprisingly practical religion, where our actions count at least as much as our intentions. Woody Allen, now so much out of favour for Me Too reasons and for various misdemeanours, but I grew up at Oxford watching his movies at the Penultimate Picture Palace and not the Moulin Rouge. He put it best at the very end of his film Crimes and Misdemeanours, where the key character, Professor Levy, says, "We're all faced throughout our lives with agonising decisions, moral choices. Some of these are portentous, great on a grand scale, some are on lesser points. But we define ourselves by the choices we've made. We are in fact the sum total of our choices. Events unfold so unpredictably, so unfairly. Human happiness doesn't seem to have been included in the design of creation. It's only we with our capacity to love that give meaning to the indifferent universe. And yet, most human beings seem to have the ability to keep trying and even to find joy from simple things like their family, their work, and from the hope that future generations might understand more. I am the sum of my choices. I've made my choice and he's standing here beside me. Together forever."
Oh.